Afternoon and welcome to another edition of Kim's Corner. I'm Kim Brown Reese, your host for today. Today, my guest is Mr. Frank Hurtz. I feel like giving him a standing ovation.
All right, there you go. I'm for that, Kim.
How are you, Mr. Hurtz? How are you? I've had you on my show before.
Fantastic.
And I just wanted to talk to you again because I always watch the city council meetings. And actually, you want to talk about reality television? The city council meetings in Newark should be broadcast.
That's right.
Internationally, because I'm sure it's probably one of the best council meetings going. I have a girlfriend, she has a friend in Florida, and her friend in Florida tells her to watch the city council meeting before it comes on. So I know you talk about a lot of things down there. What's the thing that irritates you the most?
Wow. where do I begin, Kim? There's so much. But I'd like to say this, that people, you have to come out May 11, 2010. We've got to send the council, every last one of them, out of town. We got to get rid of Cory Booker as the mayor of the city of Newark. Mm-hmm. Saying that, there are a lot of things that kind of disturb me. Mm-hmm. One of the things that, and I'll just be talking at random. One of the things that disturbed me is that this council gave Cory Booker's nonprofit corporation, which is known as Brick City Development Corporation, $11 million.
What exactly is a Brick City Development Corporation?
Ha, ha, ha. That's the funniest thing anybody's asked me. That's right. And that's what people...
What exactly is it?
It's a nonprofit organization, tax exempt, which is supposed to provide monies and programs for charitable organizations and development in the city of Newark.
Okay.
As I said, the city gave them $11 million of our money, and to date they haven't spent one penny, not a single penny, on charitable activities in the city of Newark.
You know what I want to ask you? I'm thinking about it. The school system. What's going on with the closings? I know they're supposed to be closing some schools. They've been talking. It's been a thing. Well, we're not closing this school. We're closing this school. We're not closing this school. We're closing this school. And then I know that they've been talking about turning the system back over, and from the state getting rid of it and turning it back over to the city. You think that's going to happen?
No.
No.
It's going to be a political, as it is, a political football.
Do you think it's going to be a problem if Christie comes in?
Oh, I think as bad as Corzine is, and he's bad, this guy's going to be worse. Yeah. Unfortunately. My own opinion, okay? And I think that people will have to look, listen, and make up their own determination. But I think, just because Corzine is as bad as he is, that we have to watch out that we don't get somebody worse. Okay?
Exactly, because you know the devil you have.
All right.
You don't know the devil you're going to get. And I tell people that all the time. I said, you got to watch yourself sometimes because you know the devil you have.
Exactly.
You don't know the one that you're going to get.
Exactly. We thought we were going to get rid of Sharp James, and he was terrible. Look what we've got. We've got a man that has done more damage to black people in the city of Newark in his 3 years in office than Sharp James has done in the 20 years. So what we're saying is this, Kim, that unless the people of Newark take a hold of the situation, it's going to remain the same.
Yeah, because they're the ones that can make the change.
Carpetbaggers don't vote. One of the tragedies that we forget is the fact that Cory Booker has fired hundreds and hundreds of our people, relatives, friends, neighbors, people who have spent a great great deal of their life in government, serving the people at not really great wages. Okay, fired them and brought people in and pays them astronomical salaries.
And then you have a lot of people that work for the city that don't live in Newark.
Don't
and
don't talk about
They
that,
don't live in
Kim.
Newark. And it's the same thing with the police department. I think it would be better because people tend to take care of their own neighborhoods. So if you don't live here, you don't care about it. You know, you don't live here, you don't care about it. You do what you do. You get in your car and you drive back to Timbuktu, wherever you live at.
At the council meeting, I'm sure you listened and you probably picked it up. But there are a lot of people that don't watch the council
They
meeting.
don't, and they should.
Exactly.
Because that's how
That's
you
an
know
education.
what's going on in the city of Newark. You must watch the city council
That's an
meetings. You have to, because it
education.
tells you everything that's going on.
That's an education. In fact, one of the things that I shared with the people in the city at the council meeting was that I requested information from the OPRA, which is Open Public Records Act. It's a state law, which if you ask for information, you're supposed to get it. Many times the city of Newark doesn't do that. You know, they play games. They keep putting it off.
Yeah, they always say they're going to get it to you. They kick you out every week, too.
Yeah. So the thing is that you can challenge it, but poor people can't go into court and pay you that kind of, for that nonsense. Anyway, they happened to give me the information I was looking for, and the information was very simple. I wanted to know who this person Barry Mattis is. She's an aide to the Cory Booker. I want to know where she lived. That she lived in Newark. I wanted to see a copy of her resume. And I wanted to know what her salary was. And lo and behold, they answered. But listen to what they gave me. And they're going to regret it because they will. As the months go by and I get deeper into my campaign.
I see you.
You didn't
Frank
know.
Hurtz for mayor.
You didn't know
If
that
you
I
want
was.
peace, Frank Hurtz for mayor. You must work for justice.
You didn't know that I'm running for mayor.
I've seen you with your shirts
Everybody
on,
I
your
see,
shirt and
I
your
stop
caps
and
on.
I tell them, you know, you got to vote for. And you know, they're polite and nice, but I don't care if you do or not. You get out and vote. You understand?
That's their voice.
That's
And they
right.
need
Get
to
out and
use it.
vote. You know. But anyway, I asked for this information on this woman because I know where she lives because I'd done a lot of research.
Yeah, you do that.
And the Robert Marasco, the city clerk, puts down she lives in Newark. She's a resident of Newark. Woman lives in New York City. I asked for a resume. He says, we have no resume on file. Now here's a woman making $103,000 and the city doesn't have a resume on file. That's all right. I'm going to produce a resume.
Okay.
I also asked for a job description because I got to use the legal technicality or legal wording now because I'm alleging.
Okay.
I'm alleging because I don't have the facts yet, but I will get the facts.
I know you will.
I'm alleging that this woman, a job for $103,000 is a fundraiser for Cory Booker. Ain't got no business sitting in the mayor's office as a mayor's aide and doing fundraising on our time and our money.
Now, you know what I want to ask you to
Yeah.
the situation that happened with has anybody seen Dana Roan?
No, I haven't.
I ran into her once.
What's she doing?
And I have no idea. And I gave her my card. I asked her to come on my show, but I didn't hear from her. And I think what she did was no different than what your police director did. So what's the problem there?
Well, I'll tell you what. The problem is politics again. And I'm sure you watched Louis Shockley on his show and also at the council meetings. And one of the point that he brings up often is the fact there's no difference in what Dana Roan did than what Zalina Farber did. They both lost their jobs. They had to resign. Than what Mildred Crump did when she went up to Metropolitan Church and put her hands on a reporter.
Okay. Oh yeah, I remember that incident.
Yeah, people forget those things, you know. So he's making a point of that, which he has a good point, and I hope that it prevails. But you see, it's all politics.
Yeah,
So
everything is.
what?
And I just think, you know, sometimes I guess politics taints people.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it does. I think sometimes some of them going as good, you know, with good intentions, and then I don't know. Then they just seem like some of them just become a monster.
You're right.
I know a lot of times I have a lot of concerns, and I always address, and I write letters to everybody. And most of the time I don't even get a response like, oh, we received it, or, you know, it's nothing we can do, it's something we can do. Just nothing. Just no response at all. I guess they just take it and they file it in their file cabinet. You know, that little rectangular basket that sits under their desk. It goes in the trash.
You're right.
You know, it goes in the trash. So I don't get any response a lot of times.
Well,
but it's okay.
I hope you're not offended.
Oh, no, I'm not offended at all. It's okay.
Good.
I know how it goes. I knew one that told me that they were out of town, and my cousin got on the elevator with them and rolled up and down. I was like, that's fabulous. You split your body up. You're two places at one time. I wish I could. I'd be here in Europe or something.
Yeah, you're
or
right.
wouldn't be here at all.
You're right.
But that's what they do.
You're right.
That's what they do. It's a lot of candidates I know. I've heard of some people I know. I'm not privy to say right now.
No,
It's not my time
exactly.
to say it, you know, and I spoke to some people that are
When they're
running.
ready,
It's a
they'll-
whole lot of new people
When they're
that
ready.
are running next year.
I know.
For I know, especially at large, a few people have already approached me, and they said that they were running. And I said, you know what, you do need some fresh new.
Beautiful.
And sometimes you do need some fresh new blood, and people need to not be afraid to vote for some of these people, because if you don't, you just get the same thing over and over.
You know what I'd like to say to those people? The more the people we have out there, the better and more educated our community becomes. But the one thing is that we don't want to divide and conquer.
Exactly.
We don't want to be fighting one another. I think that the thing is we make our case and we find out at a point in time that our case isn't ready, then we get behind the person that is going to be able to deliver the goods for us. And I can't tell people that enough, you know. Don't let them divide and conquer us, okay? Do your thing, but when the day comes, be big enough to realize that no one monkey stops the show.
That's now. What's going on with the water department? They want to sell the North's water or something to a private company.
Well, that's a horse of another color. This is a man. You know, the budget for 2009 is supposed to have been completed in February and voted on and approved. This is June. We have no budget. Okay? He's going to go down to December, if he's lucky, to get enough money to balance the budget. So what he thinks he can do, and what he failed to realize, that people are only going to take so much. And he thought that by putting this water and sewage utility that the city owns up for, it's not really for sale. It's more
Like
of
a
it's a
contractual thing,
lease.
lease. Okay, a
Leasing it.
lease.
It's a lease for 20, 30 years, okay? And by that, he would get money to balance his budget. Didn't work that way.
So it's just a way to get some money.
Exactly.
Okay.
But the thing is that this plan was the plan of a dull normal. Cory Booker's a dull normal. And so is our council. And the reason I say that, and I say that in all sincerity, the reason I say that is that by setting up this, what they call a municipal utility authority, the city would be able to go out and buy bonds. You see, our bond rating is nil now, so
Okay.
that the city can't really do that. So they circumvent it, and they're going to set up a utility authority to do that. Okay. Now this authority, all political. We don't want to go into the, but I want to highlight the fact that this authority wants to lease this watershed, 38,000 acres of land up in.
What is it? Is it in South?
Huh?
Is it? Where is it? Is it
No,
South?
it's
Where
up
is it?
up in Sussex County, up in well, I forget now. But anyway, they were going to give the city, lease from the city, this whole thing for $150 million.
Mm-hmm.
150
50 million.
million. This property is worth billions. Okay. Now, once that $150 million is gone, the city would not receive another penny from that lease for 20 years.
So it's not a thing where they're going to continuously be making money from it.
No,
I got something I want to throw out to you, too.
the people that are holding the bonds would make the money.
If I say a name, just tell me how you feel. Aníbal Ramos.
Well, I'll tell you what. Unfortunately, you started with the wrong person. I like Ramos personally as a person, and unfortunately, I have many flaws. And if I like you, I cut you slack.
Okay. Gonzalez.
As I said before, Gonzalez doesn't know what's flying. You know, in fact, in months to come, I will make Gonzalez a pivotal point of my campaign, showing where he has used his office to work with city officials to purchase condominiums more than once, which is illegal. If you buy and get a tax abatement, if you buy a condominium and get a tax abatement, you're supposed to live in that unit.
Oscar James.
Oh, God. Oscar James, he's pitiful. Oscar James is. His only claim to fame is that I'm the youngest councilman on this council. That's all he keeps telling you. But I have trouble with him because he doesn't understand. He lacks maturity. Lacks maturity. You put me on a
Did I
hot
say
seat.
Payne? Did I say Payne,
Oh,
right?
yeah. No, you didn't say
No,
Payne.
Payne. Okay. Payne.
Oh, God. It gets worse and worse. It gets worse. Brother Payne has no business holding down 2 jobs. He can't even do one.
Well, most of them have 2 jobs anyway, don't they? For the most part. Most of them do, because that's a part-time job. I wish I had a part-time job where I made that kind of money.
Wait a second. That's not a part-time job. And one of the first things...
I mean, the council. City council,
That's not a part-time
It's not a part-time.
No, listen.
Okay, I'm listening, I'm listening.
And that's one of the first things I'm going to do. The city council job is a full-time job by ordinance. And I've made them aware of that. Now, the thing I'm going to do, when I become, one of the first things I'm going to do, I'm going to let them know either you're going to work full-time or part-time. If you're going to work at part-time, you're going to not get any benefits. You won't get vacation, you won't get sick leave, you won't get pension rights. You will be treated as a part-time employee. But it's by law, by ordinance, it's a full-time job.
Oh, it is?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. But you see, that's the thing. They let people, they go on doing their dirt, and they let people think it's all right. You know, people.
Who else? Who did I forget?
Who?
Payne, I said James,
You
Gonzalez, Ramos,
Quintana.
Amador. Yeah.
Oh, Quintana.
Quintana, yeah.
Quintana. God. I can just shake my head. Louis, if you watch the council meetings, Louis never has anything to say. But when he does say it, it's the same old, same old. You know, he tries to project himself as a great leader.
Amador.
Oh, God, Amador. Well, let me tell you about a little story about Amador. One day I went into his office and I asked for some information. I wanted to talk to him. And I forget what it was. So he talked with me and he said to me, listen to this and you'll never go home. He said to me, oh, he says, when I asked him, he says, get out of my office, get out of my office. It chased me out of his office. But prior to that, he had mentioned to me that Sharp James did the same thing to him, that he went down to talk to Sharp, and Sharp wouldn't listen to him and said, get out of my office, get out of my office. And so he pulls this on me. Of course, since then, of course, you know I don't talk to him, okay?
Yeah.
And I have really some concerns, unfortunately, about racists.
Mm-hmm.
Is he a racist or not?
Well,
I have that concern.
I don't know whether I should say that or not. I find that most people are racist. And I find out a lot of times in those communities like that, they are racist.
Okay.
And I don't know, because everybody thinks they're better than us when they come here.
Okay.
And I don't know whether that's from the media or what, but they usually think they're better than us when they come here. And I know some of the crap holes that they come from.
Yeah.
You know, so don't come over, because I know if it wasn't for my ancestors, nobody else would be here.
You're right.
And then some people feel as though they have the right to entitlement and they didn't work for anything. You know, and most people worked hard in this country when they came, but some people just think that they're entitled.
You're right.
To it, and they really haven't contributed a lot. And I'm having a problem with it, and I see it more and more and more.
This show's going to be a collector's item, whether you know it or not. Yeah?
More and more. So, you know, that's just my problem. Belle.
Charlie goes way back.
Yeah.
He goes back to the Board of Education.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
And Charlie is the worst thing that has happened to the city of Newark. He was bad for us when he was the president of the council, and he's even worse for us now. I remember going down to the Board of Education years ago when he was the president and fighting for the Board of Education to televise their meetings. He was opposed to it. You know how long that's been? A long time.
That's been a long time.
Can you imagine the education that could have happened if we were watching those meetings? And not only that, I went down.
Yeah, because this school system is a mess. There's not a lot of parental involvement. And then the school advisory board, I want to know what their function is.
No function, you know that.
Yeah,
they like
I just
their
want to know
names
what
on
their
paper.
function
No
is.
function.
None at all.
No.
And I've corresponded with the superintendent a couple of times. You know, they don't even get back to you either. So I'm done with that. You know, I'm done. It is what it is.
Going back to the Board
is
of
what it is.
Education, and in the old days when Charlie was there, they used to, and they still rent that building that they rent now on Cedar Street. And that building was up for sale for $3 million.
And that's the old two guys. What, Kresge's was there?
That's right.
Kresge's was there first, I think. Yeah, then
$3 million.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll show you the extent and the stench of the corruption there. They could have purchased that building. They were paying, I forget the exact number, exact amount of money now, but a fantastic amount, say $5 to $6 million rent for the place. And they could have purchased it for $3 million.
Wasteful.
Wasteful. I mean, no, somebody was putting money in their
pocket. Well, you know it's always that.
You know
that.
So I'm saying that we've got a lot of changing to do, and I'm going to change all of that. I'm going to turn this town around. When I become mayor, my salary is going to be $1. That's all I'm going to accept. One lousy dollar. Okay.
Okay.
And not only that, there's only going to be one deputy mayor, and I'm going to look for that person, and their salary is going to be $1 million.
Well, that's the same thing in the school system too, because they used to have like a superintendent of schools. Now they got they have all these assistant superintendents, but the state is wasteful.
Right.
Yeah, and they think the city is wasteful. The state is more wasteful than the city is, and they need to get out to educate. I don't even know how that happened, but I know how it happened. No parental involvement. Because if parents were really involved, truly involved, the state would have never been able to take over the public school system. It would have never happened.
You're right.
It would have never happened. So you don't have parental involvement, and that's the number one thing, and that's why that system is going. The state doesn't really want it anymore because it's a burden on them too.
You're right.
You know, it's a burden on them too. I know we were running out of time because I could talk to you for hours.
Oh, fantastic.
I could talk to you for hours.
Fantastic.
You know, I enjoy watching the city council meeting. I advise everybody to watch the city council meeting because if you want to know, really want to know what's going on in Newark, in and around as far as the housing, education, and everything else, you need to watch the city council meeting because you got some real rebel rousers down there, Donna and
they're
Lewis,
educated.
and they're educated and they're talking, they have concerns, but I guess they feel nothing is being done. You know, it's the same old, but Frank Hurtz for mayor. If you want peace, Frank Hurtz for mayor. You must work for justice. And I see you wear your cap proudly and your shirt, and I see you at the meetings wearing it, and I'm going to keep on watching it, you know, because it's good. It's informational as well as entertaining.
You're right.
It is
You're
truly entertaining. It's
You're right.
information. It comes on. They got their own channel now, 78.
That's right.
And then they come on channel 19, and the next council meeting is what, the 7th? When's the next council meeting?
No, the first. The first. It's
the
only
first.
one meeting in July.
Okay.
That's in the afternoon, and one meeting in August.
Mr. Hertz, it was a pleasure.
It's my
Always a
pleasure.
pleasure. And you know I'm going to have you back again so we can
And
talk
I
some more
thank-
because there's a lot of things we
I
didn't
thank you
cover.
for giving me the opportunity. I just want to say this in closing. If you don't know me, and most of you don't, you will find me to be a man of peace, a man of compassion, and a man of justice.
And a man of truth.
And a man of truth.
And a man of truth.
And I hope you will come out and vote for me on May 11, 2010. But thank you, Pam, for giving me this opportunity.
Okay, you're welcome. I want to thank everybody for joining Kim's Corner. I'll see you next time.
Fantastic.
Fabulous.